All right, let's go to Abia State, Umuahia, where our reporter Solomon Ajiziogu is standing by there to bring us up to speed from the Collation Center. Solomon, good morning. It's a new day. What's happening there now? What's the situation?
Good morning, Mike. Well, the prof, your guest there has just told you you have to pay to get his material, but here you are with me, and I will give you all the information you need. You don't have to pay me a humongous sum to get this information. We are at Urban 1 here in Umuahia. It's on School Road, and it is the constituency collation center for Umuahia Central. There are 3 wards in Umuahia Central here, 1, 2, and 3, and the collation of the results is ongoing. Dr. Chiagoye Tochukwu is the returning officer who is doing this here. At the moment, they have concluded collation for 2 wards. They are waiting for the last one, which is a very, very big ward, the Urban 1 ward, which has more than 100 polling units in it. It's such a huge ward. And so these 3 wards constitute the Umuahia Central, where the contestants today will be known from here. Once the Urban 1 officers are bringing their results, then the returning officer will put them together and announce the winner of the Umuahia Central State Constituency here in Urban 1. That's where the announcement will be made, and we are waiting here with them, keeping vigil. These men, the INEC officials and the party agents, all of them have kept vigil over the night, going over this, looking at the details, calculating the figures, crunching them together, having some disagreement at some point about whether this is the way to return this figure. But of course, the man who is in charge to return the results is a computer scientist, a computer engineer, actually, Chiagoye Tobechukwu from University of Agriculture, Omudike here, and he's waiting to return all of the results.
All right, Solomon, when we spoke yesterday, you told us that it looks like a 4-horse race in Abia State. However, almost all the political parties are fielding candidates, in this election. Talk to us how the voter had to grapple with all of the choices between all of these parties, as it were, yesterday.
Well, in Abia State, the 18 political parties fielded a governorship candidate. Up to the last minute, one of the supposedly big parties, say, for instance, ABGA, had a case in court and all of that. Eventually, the Supreme Court finally decided on Gregory Ibe's candidacy. And we do not know how much this will impact on his chances, even though we had learned that he had been campaigning all along in hope that he will get the nod. But we know that here we have the ruling party seeking to succeed itself. Then we have the Labour Party as well, fielding a candidate that, well, some people appear to be sentimentally attached to this candidate because this is the 3rd time he is running to be the governor of Abia State. But then also, you must understand that this is a local election. It is not like the presidential and national assembly elections where, well, they are looking at Abuja, but this is where governance touches the people. If the talk is about apathy here, about turnout, vote out, that's where some people are saying it's low and all of that, we will have to look at the figures to be able to be sure about that. Because if the people fail to turn out, then it is their own loss, because this is where governance impacts more on them than Abuja will impact on them. If because of what happened on the 25th, or what they thought happened on the 25th of February affected their morale to come out for this one, then it's their loss. But I must say that the 18 candidates here have done a good job of campaigning. But then we know that there are four dominant parties, as it were. You talk about Labour, you talk about PDP, you talk about the APC, then you talk about ABGA. But then there is a fifth party, seemingly, the YPP. They are also very strong here. Uh, it's looking very good. We were able to touch on a whole lot of places. We were at Amodara, somewhere in Ndume Ibeku. We also went as far as Umukabia in Ohoho Afugre, where, of course, that's a stronghold of the APC guy. We were at Ibeku High School, then we were here at Urban One. We went to a lot of places, monitoring the votes, looking at the way the people turned out. And I cannot readily say that there was apathy. The only thing I can say that the INEC officials were prompt. They got to the places where they should get to at the right time. If there was any delay anywhere, like here at Urban One, it was because some of the party agents didn't come in time, because I remember that the first ballot that was cast here was cast at exactly 9 a.m. because they were busy waiting. They were waiting, actually, they had set up and were waiting for the party agents. They couldn't start anything without the party agents. So here in Abia, it's a peculiar situation. I think it's a beautiful city here, well laid out roads, right angle roads, even though the quality of the road may be something that you may be talking about, but the city is well laid out, and I hope that they will get good governance that will make things better, far better than it is at the moment.
All right, let's talk about the general satisfaction of the voter at the just concluded election. Recall that the presidential election recorded some level of turnout, and we saw the passion, we saw the enthusiasm. However, in this governorship election, from the reports we got generally, the turnout wasn't as much as the presidential election in some of the places and some of the reports we have seen. I wonder if it's the same, but to also talk to us, how satisfied are voters with the entire process from start to finish?
I think that there is a higher level of satisfaction with the process of the governorship and state assembly elections. You would have thought that because it is local and it affects them, they have much more vested interest at their local level, that there will be higher tension. No, I think that the tension for this one is lower than what we saw in the presidential election. I do not know why that is, but I have been here. I have seen them have disagreements, but I have not seen them fight themselves. They have been peaceful. They've argued where they have to argue. But generally, the process here has been very, very smooth. But you know, that's also understandable. The INEC headquarters had to suspend the rec here in Abia for what happened on the 25th of February. There was huge logistical failure, and so INEC had to really come down. You know, we reported that from day one when the officials couldn't move out of the rack from the central point. None of them moved out, even at the time voting should have started. And INEC really came down and suspended the rec, and then the administrative secretary took over. He seemed to have done everything well. Clement Ohia seemed to have done everything well here, devolving the powers, the responsibilities to his officials to get things done appropriately. So everybody moved out at the time they should have moved out, and the polls started when they should start. So there was general satisfaction, and there has been general satisfaction for this election, probably because of the corrections INEC had to make for the inadequacies of the 25th of February.
That's really interesting to know. Now, before you came in, we were talking about women participation in the entire process. And in Abia State, we understand how conscious the women are, how enlightened they are in their own respect. But I wonder how, if that translated to the political participation in this exercise. What did you monitor? What did you see when it comes to women involvement in the process?
Well, you know, historically, Abia women, as it were, were in the forefront of activism, political activism, economic activism. You remember the About Women riots and all of that historically. And so you know that women are premium here in Abia State. Well, as it is in the governorship contest, there are not many women running. All of the women taking part in the governorship are deputy governors, and you have about less than 10 of them, about 10 of them basically running. In the constituencies as well, we do not have much of them. It's an all men affair, as it were. So it's a majority men affair. I wouldn't say all men affair. So we will maybe the women will have to grow to be more conscious about their chances in a democracy. Democracy wouldn't be about prejudices, about the prejudice. Democracy gives you a chance to deal with age-long prejudice that have always that exists against women. So democracy can deal with that. Women need to realize that. Now, nobody is going to hand you positions a la carte, even if you have the affirmation, the 30 or 35% affirmation. Nobody wants to hand over such things to you a la carte. You have to earn it. You have to get there. So women will be able to say, okay, because I did this, then I have the competence to be able to do this. But in elections, it's a popularity contest. So even if you are competent, you are not assured of winning. So here in Abia, the number of women taking part, will not be compared to the number of men, certainly. But one damage is the effect of online false news, misinformation, fake news. And when you go to the people, you talk with the people, and you see the extent to which on the street people believe a lot of things online that are not even verifiable. This has effect on voter turnout. This has effect on women's participation. This has effect on general awareness on the democratic practice. That it does not come like a flash in the pan. It does not come at the snap of the finger. It's a journey. It doesn't even have a destination. So whatever you want now, you have to keep at it, work at it, and the women need to realize that, the youths need to realize that. But importantly, we need to do something about online fake news, particularly. It's really, really damaging. A case in question is the young man who is contesting in Umahia Central here under the Labour Party, Anthony Chinasa Abiola. Now, Abiola was never part of his name. Abiola is not his name. And this has been used as a propaganda tool in the game, in the mind game in this election. We spoke with him, he cleared the air, and he said, no, Abiola is not his name. His name is just Anthony Chinasa. But the thing had gone viral, it had gone global, and everybody believes the narrative that is online. Now, this is just one case. There are a whole lot of other misinformation that is affecting what we see in the democratic process.
Okay. Thank you so much, Solomon, for the updates there, talking about, I like the way you pieced that with the About Women riots, because I think it was in 1929. We can't forget the role that played in the political experience of Nigeria. Thank you, Solomon Ajiziogu. We'll come back to you as we get along with those developments.